though. But I think it's because I've been going to bed a little bit later than usual. But nevertheless, all is good, all is well. And today, I wanted to just touch on fasting as a whole and why it's so powerful on so many different levels. Now, if you're somebody that is suffering with depression, anxiety, trauma, weight issues, image issues, just unhappy, sad, you're just really down and you're really feeling it. This is what fasting does. Fasting allows you to observe what's there at the root level. So, although life might be getting on top of you and things are happening and that person has triggered you or whatever it may be, just remember there's always the root cause of everything. A lot of the times it probably stems from your childhood, but you know, things happen in life in general. But fasting allows you to observe what's going on, what's really going on a deeper level. And if you're fasting in isolation, so you're not really dealing with the world, or you're not dealing with people on a day-to-day, but you're able to kind of go somewhere and really sit with yourself, you'll realize that you've probably created stories, you know, the narratives, and you've got nobody else to blame in the moments where things may come to surface but yourself, because there's no conversation or no one said anything to you. And this is one reason why I can see how Vipassana, which is an ancient Indian meditation technique that has been like rediscovered around 2,500 years ago. I can see how it's so powerful because it allows you and enables you the environment and the space to dive deeper within self and to realize what's at the root level. And that might take some time to get to that root level, that root cause. So I guess it depends on how much you surrender into the practice of Vipassana, because Vipassana is a 10-day course. But with fasting, I just feel like it probably happens at a more intensified level, because the way in which you used to cope, your coping mechanism, the way in which you was coping was always through suppression, and suppression through consuming food, consuming things that don't serve you. And it's those habits that you form over time that you don't even realize is contributing towards you not being able to be in a position to actually express the expression of the depression, of the suppression of the emotion in which you're carrying and in which you've been carrying for years or whatever it may be. So it's powerful. It's very, very powerful. And of course, there's levels and there's layers to fasting. So I'm not advising anybody necessarily to jump straight into, you know, a fast could be fasting from, or fasting from people, or whatever it may be. But there's levels, and you climb that ladder, and intuitively, as you start clearing out, it will become more apparent as to what's next and what to do next. So you don't necessarily have to be looking for it, but you have to be open for it, and then that will come to you for sure. Yeah, I can speak for myself. I've had life experiences where people that have had similar experiences, or maybe one of those experiences, or, you know, just from seeing programs, TV, people documenting it, people sharing, they've not been able to bounce back from experiences, and experiences can range. It doesn't really matter. It just depends on the individual person. Everybody has their own threshold of what they can hold on to, not what they can hold on to, but what they can carry. But I don't think anyone's given anything that they can't really necessarily manage. And we all have the choice, we all have the option to decide how long we want to hold on to something for. How much energy are you giving that thing that's just like ruling your life, taking over your life? Like, when is enough enough? When does I'll do it tomorrow become tomorrow instead of next week, next month, next year? Like, how do you want to feel? How do you want to show up for yourself? And for me, fasting is the most accessible, one of the most accessible practices that somebody can do and embody into their life. And depending on where you are, where you're living, of course, it's going to be rangy. You're going to have a different experience. So for me personally, like living in England where there's so much distractions, there's so much going on all the time, for me being able to like embody this practice and be around people that, are consuming whatever they're consuming, whether it's good, bad, or whatever it may be, or it just is, I've been able to show up in a way where I'm not ruled by what everybody else is doing. I'm not persuaded or any of those things. So I've been able to really cultivate a practice within myself where I'm able to show up for myself at one of the highest levels possible. And through doing that, I've realized that every other aspect of my life has really cleaned up, and it's showing me that it's limitless. It's limitless in the sense of how good you can feel, how much you can get from this experience of life. And fasting is definitely a tool in which I would recommend for anybody, whether you start at a raw foods only, a juice cleanse, or just eliminating meat, fish, eliminating dairy, making substitutes instead of dairy milk, having oat milk, coconut milk, whatever it may be, almond milk, making your own milk, making your own juices, buying your own juices, whatever. There's so many options for you, but until you surrender into the fact of wanting to expand and express yourself in a completely different way, that requires you letting go of your old belief system, letting go of your old patterns, and completely surrendering in this newness and this new life and this new way of life presenting itself to you, so you can show out and show up in a completely different way. So that's my little spiel on fasting. That's like one light touch element on fasting. And if you're ready and you're willing to really show up and really put yourself out there to receive the best or one of the best possible experiences of life that can completely transform your whole life, a small blip of your life can be monumental, and it can really shape and dictate the rest of your life, then fasting is definitely a practice I would highly recommend to you. And if you're interested in support, community, and really just stepping in to one of the highest forms of fasting, but it's set out for anybody to dive into at the most beginner level possible, then I do have a free beginners that starts on the 20th of April, which is another 10 days now. But you have the 19th of April, which is going to be a Sunday. It's free because healing is free and you don't have to pay so much money. There is different tiers in this dry fast. So 7 days, 12 hours daily. And just to give you an example, one example of a time frame would be 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. You wouldn't eat or wouldn't drink in that time. But even something like that, which I believe is definitely beginners friendly, because I've had a lot of beginners join, and now we have over 60 people that are in this community group, and are all at different levels. It's definitely growing, and there's people from all over the world. If you want to be a part of the community, if you want to be a part of this high frequency community, then I would highly recommend you join the free dry fasting group. And yeah, if you are interested, then if you're watching this video, wherever you're watching this video, you can either send me a message, a comment, yeah, however you can contact me, or alternatively you can go to nystro.co.uk, which is nystro nystro.co.uk, sorry, yeah, nystro.co.uk. You can find out more information there. It will explain the free tier, then there's a guide, and there's also an inner circle option as well if you want to really dive in a little bit deeper. But whatever you feel called to do, then the option is there. Reach out, and as I said, it's 7 days, 12 hours daily, and you are required to show up in the community space, and that's to help with accountability. So yeah, if you're ready, lock in. It's time. We're in spring, perfect time to elevate. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next video.